everyone. I thought an example presentation, or at least part of one, might be helpful for some of you. So, with that in mind, I will pretend to do a presentation or part of one here. Okay? So, let's begin. Hi, everyone. Today I'll be sharing my lesson unit on hobbies. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bethany, and I'm a teacher with OLC, where I've been teaching for about 20 years. The critical language I'm exploring is Chinese. Before I get into the specifics about my lesson design, key takeaways, and growth over the last 7 weeks, I'd like to share a few highlights of my lesson. My lesson unit is on hobbies, and it is 2 weeks long and has both an asynchronous online component and in-person class sessions. Now, during the unit, the students and I will explore both old and new hobbies in China and the US. The highlight of week 1, I think, will be that students will have an opportunity to learn one of 4, their choice, one of 4 possible hobbies from ancient China and old US, okay? And they'll, through learning about these, begin practicing with the vocabulary and grammar surrounding hobbies. Then in week 2, the students will have an opportunity to present a hobby and answer questions about it. Something they already do as a hobby or something that they would like to learn to do. So that is kind of the highlight of my unit. Now let's go into some specific lesson details. For alignment, I was really focused on supporting the integrated performance assessment of a presentation or demonstration of a hobby with a Q&A. So we've got presentational mode and interpersonal mode and interpretive mode going on in this IPA. So I really wanted to make sure that I had activities and resources that gave the learners time to practice presenting or demonstrating things, to discuss things with one another, and to research so they could have information to be able to present and demonstrate. Since this is hobbies, it was really easy, I think, to kind of address engagement. We have a lot of hands-on activities, practicing, actual practice with one of the 4 different hobbies. And I'm thinking calligraphy, I'm thinking video games, I'm thinking there's so many options. I'll work together with the students to come up with the 4 that we might want to focus on based on their interests and so on. Of course, for technology, we'll use a lot of video tutorials. And then the technologies associated with whatever hobbies that we are doing. So it might not necessarily be digital technologies, although it could be. It'll just be the broader category of technology. And then DEIA considerations, we've got group and individual hobby options. We have varied media for learning, and I'm going to do some scheduled talking options as well as some random talking options. So those who are a little bit more hesitant to speak maybe can get a heads up that, hey, I'm going to be picking on you tomorrow to talk, so you can prepare a little bit in advance. Things like that, hopefully to address some of those different student needs. All right. Now, a little bit more detail about alignment here. I mentioned that my integrated performance assessment was a demonstration and or presentation with a Q&A component. So we have the presentational mode, the interpersonal mode, and the interpretive mode all addressed in this lesson. And so for activities and resources to prepare the learners for each of these aspects of their summative evaluation, their integrated performance assessment, we've got for presentational mode, them doing brief practices each day, like just pointing things out, saying, oh, this is a calligraphy brush or whatever their hobby is, and quick practice demos. And then we've got, of course, discussions and collaboration to learn about the various hobby choices, as well as infogap activities that can be really helpful in that interpersonal communication. And then reading and listening to resources for interpretive mode, and then to also, because we've got a lot of Q&A here, answering teacher questions and student questions on a routine basis to give students practice to listen and interpret and then be able to respond for interpersonal mode. All right. Now, as far as engagement goes, like I said, a lot of hands-on activities. We're going to be practicing with different hobbies based on student interest from both China and US, and taking some time to use the vocabulary of hobbies, but also do some cultural comparisons. The video tutorials, and also bringing in some clips with different popular culture media like TV shows and and movies that demonstrate or that have a particular hobby being shown in the video. Things like that I think could be really, really fun. We'll save the reading and some of the individual work for offline asynchronous and really reserve the class time for the practice and for enjoying some of these fun pop culture videos and so on. Okay, so I'm not going to go any farther. You see there, that was my beginning part of my presentation now. You don't have to do it exactly like that. This is just an example for how you could do it, where you importantly give a highlight of your lesson, because there'll be many people in the audience that have not read any of your materials yet, right? So it'll be brand new to them. So this highlight is really important, okay? And it'll be fun. It'll be fun for people. And then going into a little bit of detail about alignment, engagement, and so on, being very specific, tying in your practice, your actual lesson design, things that are going on with the theory that we talked about, right? In terms of alignment, engagement, and so on. All right. I hope that brief example helps. Notice that I put notes in here, and you could certainly put notes in yours to help you for when you're presenting. Okay, so especially if it helps you to have notes that you can read a little bit, so you don't have to struggle if you don't like presenting aloud. Okay, so you can put your notes in there. And yeah. Okay, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, you just let me know, okay? Take care.